We all know GST is a buzzword. But what if I told you that the system that touches everything from the price of coffee and to the cost of your next vacation? There's a lot more. Welcome to our channel where we delve into an issue that impacts businessmen, professionals, and taxpayers. That is the story of GST Appellate Tribunal. Before moving on, let me introduce myself. I am Jasleen Kaur, a student of BVIMR, New Delhi, passionate about law, communication, taxation, and governance. Today, it's my privilege to host this session with Mr. Anoop Prakash Avasthi, who is an advocate on record at Supreme Court of India, GST practitioner, and an IBC practitioner. Hello, sir.
Thank you, Jasleen, for such lavish introduction. You're welcome.
So let's begin our discussion with Mr. Anoop Prakash Avasthi, the speaker who has taken bold step to address this crucial issue and has filed a PIL, public interest litigation, to make the GST Tribunal effective and operational. So, sir, what was your PIL about?
See, I would like to tell you this was the second PIL in the quest of getting one functional GST Tribunal, Appellate Tribunal in our system. In most of the legislations, which are revenue related or recovery related, the system of the tribunal is also inherent, and the same is the case with goods and services taxes. But it came long back, 2017. It had a mechanism of tribunal, it has a mechanism of appellate tribunal, but nothing is visible. It has sections 107, 108, 112, blah blah blah, but nothing has come into reality. So as on date, the difficulty that a taxpayer is facing, if they have anything with regard to tax related issue, they first go to the department. Within the department, they explore their remedies first, and then the next step is they have to go to High Court. Okay. In between, there is no mechanism. In between, the system of the tribunal that was expected to be established within the mechanism, within the four corners of this act, has not come into reality. So, aggrieved by this fact that for last 7 years, it has not been made operational. First, one petition was filed before Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court issued certain directives, and thereafter government had taken certain steps to establish a tribunal. And you would be surprised that this exercise is going on for more than 1 year. It was in the middle of 2024. The chairperson was also appointed for the appellate tribunal. But till date, we have not heard about any bench anywhere established or becoming operational. I am not aware even if they have taken any premises on rent for the functioning of the tribunal. So unless we have building, unless we have recruitment of the officers, unless we have judicial officers, technical officers, the system set up, adjudication in terms of GST, adjudication in terms of the grievances that a taxpayer has, is definitely a big challenge as on date. Justly.
Okay, sir. So, sir, what are the main highlights of the issue of your petition?
When I went before the Supreme Court of India, the main contention was to make it operationalized. As on date, this is a moonshine. The council as well as the GST council as well as the government, they say yes, they are very serious about the implementation. But if you see on ground, except for appointing the chairperson, they have visibly done nothing. They might have done something back which is not known to public, but visibly there is nothing. And I find there is a lack of motivation. I find that the intent for establishing a judicial mechanism to have a judicial vigilance over the taxing authority is lacking. So it is more a kind of deliberate bureaucratic inaction, I would say. And I'm really aggrieved. And when this petition was heard by the Court of Honorable Chief Justice of India, it has been disposed and treated as a representation to the government. Okay. And with liberty that in case nothing happens in between, I shall be permitted to approach the Honorable Supreme Court again. So that is what has happened as on date. Yes.
So, sir, what directions the court give to the government regarding your PIL?
Now, exactly no direction as of now, because in the earlier round, the PIL that was filed by another person on the very same issue, government has given its reply and they have submitted before the Supreme Court of India that they are taking a step, they are making things operational, they are doing things on ground, all those things are there. But being a registered GST practitioner, being understanding the nuances of this system and being in the process, I find that actually, seriously, nothing is happening. And if it is happening, the pace of that happening is very slow. So, is there really a will to make the tribunal operationalize? I find that questionable. So, I really earnestly request the system, the Honorable Finance Minister, and our stakeholders in GST Council to become serious, because in absence of the judicial mechanism that has been provided within the code, the grievance settlement system goes haywire, and our constitutional courts are already overburdened. So the swift resolution of grievance, that mechanism is lacking. And I would like to tell you that it is not only the appellate tribunal, the act invices the tribunal and then an appellate tribunal. So there is a lack of clarity also, because if you see within the code, even for the tribunal they use the appellate, the word appellate. So unless that comes into reality, we don't know how they are going to make it operationalize. Shall we treat the appellate tribunal as the first tribunal? First appellate tribunal means the judicial, the officer, the taxing officer, who is dealing with the grievances, who is dealing with the applications of the taxpayers and those who, the stakeholders in taxing mechanism, not only taxpayer, there are so many stakeholders, including the officials, including the third parties. So whosoever is aggrieved. So whether those officers would be acting in quasi-judicial capacity and against the orders passed by them, we shall go before the appellate tribunal, or we shall directly go before the appellate tribunal. That is still a gray area, because if you read the act, for the National Appellate Authority or the GST Appellate Tribunal, anybody who is aggrieved by an order passed by the appellate authority under section 107 or 108, that is the threshold, that is the parameter for filing an appeal before the appellate authority. But frankly, I do not know who is that appellate authority, because that as on date nothing has come in terms of settling any kind of judicial intervention at the tribunal level. So there is no tribunal, so there is no adjudication except going to the constitutional courts if you are aggrieved by any decision of taxing department as far as the goods and services tax is concerned. Be it GST, be it state GST, be it IGST, anything. The moment you are under any GST related issue and you are not satisfied by departmental action, the only thing that you can do is to approach the constitutional court, the jurisdictional high court. So it is still a gray area, and it has to be, I think, streamlined. And except for hearing about the establishment of an appellate tribunal, the establishment of a tribunal I have not heard, though it is provided. If you read the provisions, it is within the scheme of the code, within the scheme of the GST Act. Yes.
So right now it is not operational and effective as it should be.
except for a notification that a tribunal is established, except for appointment of the chairperson, honorable chairperson. There is nothing. And we shall be soon going to the 8th year, and immediately I am not finding any light at the end of the tunnel. So I will see after if something happens within next 4 months, and then again approach the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Yes.
Okay. So, sir, as we know, there are lots of tribunals are present in our country. So, another tribunal in our country, so we can say GST's Appellate Tribunal or GST's Tribunal. Is it works similar to them? Like it's just a number of tribunal we are adding to our countries, or it will be effective or efficient for our country or the taxpayers or stakeholders, whatever we can say.
Jocelyn, what shall I say on this? See, the performance of other tribunals were expected to be at a certain level. But incidentally, some tribunals are working with full strength and performing. Some tribunals are lacking judicial members and technical members, and their performance level is not at the required level. But one important thing that is missed by the government and other stakeholders is the continuous supply of the judicial officers or technical officers to man these tribunals. And usually what happens, the tribunals recruit from those who have completed their normal course of length of service mostly, and are those who are already in service and come on deputation and get appointment there. But I feel if the tribunals have to perform, really succeed, and do justice at the desired level and with the required manpower, capacity, infra, then something else to be added to this entire process of recruitment. The government should focus on developing a cadre of service for the tribunals. Like the way we recruit our judicial officers for district judiciary, they get promoted and sometimes they go to High Court as well as they reach to Supreme Court also. In the similar manner, if we are able to provide, convince the government or government on its own, create a cadre of the judicial officers for tribunal. Tribunal may be segregated in some groups, and for that a dedicated service. If that is initiated, then young talent can be recruited and they can man the tribunal, I think, in a more efficient manner, and they will feel that there would be career growth. And why I am saying this, a person with lot of wisdom, lot of experience coming to tribunal is okay, fine, but getting in tune with that process obviously takes some time. Somebody who is recruited for that purpose, I think that may be one way of reforming these tribunals, that we must have a permanent cadre. Even if you take experienced officers, fine, but let them come in that cadre. The appointment system should not be on casual basis, that you randomly issue some advertisement, select and appoint. So the person who are coming into that, they should be very clear what services they are going to provide. So a permanent cadre, I think, is required. And it is again important, because suppose this suggestion is not accepted, then I am having another suggestion for the stakeholders, that you recruit, keep them in reserve. So as and when you can very well anticipate the vacancies, because you know when somebody is retiring, when shall a vacancy fall in a tribunal. So the recruitment should not happen after the commencement of vacancy. It should happen much prior. There should be a system, set of rules which permit that system of tribunal, that particular setup, to recruit before the retirement of persons. So you have a reserve of judicial officers and technical officers who have consented to get appointed in tribunals. So as and when a vacancy occurs, you choose from that pool. So there will not be any vacancy for a long period, and there will not be any delay. As on date, what is happening in as far as other tribunals are concerned, one particular set of tribunal is taking care the cases of more than one tribunal, means they are acting for 2 3 tribunals in a day. So the human capacity is limited. Even the best of the best cannot hear all the matters listed before a tribunal. Daily some 50 60 cases are listed. Even hearing that is a full day's job. You won't be able to complete it in a single day. It is difficult. Then you have to pass orders, see whether the order dictated is correctly reproduced in paper by the person who is taking dictation. So you have to read it and then sign it. So it's not a small job. Lot of effort is required to be made, and since human capacity is limited, I say
Actually.
more taking care of more than one tribunal is actually a disaster on judicial system. So we should be having a permanent cadre, and if we are not having, then we must pre-recruit. So ideally, the system should work towards minimizing the vacancies, or keeping a tribunal vacant for minimum days. So if that's the idea, if that setup is adopted, I think that can infuse lot of efficiency in the functioning of a tribunal. And those who are appointed, definitely they are the experienced persons and they do justice. So as far as justice delivery system is concerned, I am having no grievances. But as far as recruitment is concerned, I am having lot of grievances with the present existing system. Yes.
Like, sir, why is the establishment of the GST Tribunal delayed despite its importance? Why has the GST Tribunal not become operational even after 7 years of its implementation?
That's a very important issue, and I would say it should have been. It is unfortunate, against the intent of the lawmakers, against the intent of the GST. So, non coming into reality a GST tribunal is actually costing a lot. It is a burden on our tax system. So, anybody who's having any kind of issue within the tax setup, they are either expected to see the officers there and resolve that, or to approach a constitutional court. So I feel it is a big deterrent in our progress if we have a tribunal with which actually ensures quick, swift, efficient delivery of justice or resolution of tax related grievances. It will infuse lot of efficiency in our economic system. And as we are trying to go, claiming to go, and showing that we are going towards a multi-trillion economy, this march shall be incomplete if we are not having a robust judicial system to take care of the tax related issues. And till date it has not come because of, I would feel personally, lack of intent in the bureaucratic setup. They don't want any immediate scrutiny upon their head by a judicial system. Unfortunately, that is the opinion as on date I am having. I may be wrong also, but since it has not been operational despite the orders of the apex court, I am compelled to remain content with that opinion. And I feel that I shall be the happiest man if the system proves me wrong and GST Tribunal becomes operational in next few months. Yes.
As we can say a step forward or a step stall. When the government is aware of the problem, why aren't they fixing it?
They say they are fixing, but you can't see that they are fixing. That is the problem. If you go to the GST Council, if you go to Finance Minister, if you go to anybody of a person of responsibility within the system, they say yes, we are doing, yes, we are creating, yes, the chairperson is appointed. They say, but in reality, till date, I find the process extremely lethargic, extremely slow. So I'm dissatisfied, frankly.
So basically, what inspired you to file this PIL?
I'm a public spirited person and I have filed public interest litigation on various issues. So this was one of them. And see, the tax revenue runs our system. The taxpayers are the pillars of our governance. They are the backbone of our economy. And if they are aggrieved, they feel pain, then I feel that our economic system is not healthy. So because if somebody is in pain, system is not healthy. So I felt that I should also raise this issue, and a swift resolution of their grievances in the form of a tribunal must be made a reality in coming future, and with that intent I filed this PIL.
Okay. So, sir, do you think that the GST Tribunal will be operational soon?
I pray, I wish, but I don't think. I earnestly feel that I should be proved wrong by the government, by the system, by making it operational.
As we all know, collective power matters. So, what the general public contribute to resolve this matter?
See, the general, most of them are paying GST. All of us are paying GST as being the end user. You know, this is a destination based tax. But most of us are not actually depositing GST directly. So those who are depositing GST, against whom notices would come, those who are facing the difficulty of whether they should deposit GST in one slab or another, that I would say the popcorn dilemma of GST. They are really aggrieved people, and they're trying. It's not that they are not trying, but I would say, despite the collective pressure that is being mounted, unless this system on its own coming forward to implement what is given in the law, it can't come into reality. And another thing, that the judicial mechanism is not completely closed. If you are really aggrieved, then you go to our constitutional court, you file a writ petition relating to the tax matter. So it is not completely closed. So I think because of these reasons, the pressure that was required to be mounted is not coming forth. And ideally, it should not be because of the pressure. Ideally, it should be by the government on its own. Because if the taxpayers feel confident, if they are taken care of by the system, they will help the economy to grow. If you are taxing too much, not taking care of the grievances of the taxpayers, there will be a general mentality, I would say, or a tendency to pay less taxes or to go towards tax evasion. And that is a big challenge. So I feel it is on the part of the tax administration to infuse confidence into the taxpayers, and if this tribunal is made a reality, that confidence shall definitely be very high, and it would be in the interest of our economy, it would be in the interest of our tax administration, and it would be in the interest of making India a developed country by next 20 years, 25 years. So I feel we must act. We must act at this moment and make the judicial system for tax administration a reality.
So, sir, What message would you like to share with our listeners before wrapping it up?
See, the GST Tribunal is very important for the purpose of resolution of GST related tax dispute. And if tribunal comes, then it is sure that we have a fair and equitable judicial system to deal with the tax issues. So it will infuse confidence of taxpayers in our system. It will also help our economy to grow. The persons who are willing to do business coming to India, establishing their units, they will also find it in their interest. So I feel that it will definitely give a big boost to our general tax administration and help the economy to grow.
Okay, sir. And with that, we come to the end of this discussion. A heartfelt thank you to sir.
Thank you, Jasleen, for interviewing me.
Your this remarkable efforts in highlighting this crucial issue inspires many others, and taking steps to bring about positive change. Together, let's continue to work towards a more just and efficient system. Until next time, take care and stay aware. Thank you.
Thank you.